Morning all. Just received this packet from Spain. It's got two pre-CBS pickups inside, both of them blown, bad condition. So we're going to open the box, have a look, and then get cracking to rewind these pickups. Okay, let's get on with it. Right, okay, here's the first pickup. As you can see, pretty rough condition. Some damage on the top here, it's worn away, actual bright flat work's worn there. It's higher at this end, so the whole thing's kind of you can see that kind of distorted, but yeah, bit manky, but it's original. Windings have long gone. This one, this one again, it's just a blown pickup, past its sell by date. Fully original old pickups. So we'll get these cleaned up now and see what we can do. Okay. Just going to clean up this rust here with a fine wire brush. Trying to get all the rust off first. The windings don't matter because they're going to be, it's going to be rebuilt with the proper form of our wire that's been ordered from the States, so we can soon get this looking a lot better. Try and get all the rust and crap off the poles before we start taking the wire off. Underneath's fine, that's fine. And desolder the wires next because these wires are short. That one's been the negative wire, the black wire's been joined with some heat shrink over there, so that this wire is not really any good. Yeah. The other pickup is actually, it's corroded the flat work on the end, called corrode, so that's going to be no good to even use. That's just no good. So that's I'll put a new piece on there, a new top part. Keep the original bottom, there's nothing wrong with that, it's perfect. But the top part is old, worn away. We can still clean the poles up a little bit before we start messing. Get all these cleaned up. Doesn't matter about the wire's just kind of falling off the bobbin at the moment. Doesn't matter about that. And soon anyway, so we'll now strip the wire off, desolder the wires, take it from there. So there you go, two original, I think, I don't know what year they are, maybe 60, 61, not sure. Really nice. The the top flat work on this one is fine. We're going to keep that one. There's no damage. It's all intact. We'll just straighten it all out. And this one needs replacing though. Okay, it's corroded and breaking away, so that serves no purpose. Okay, so I'm going to cut the wire off this first pickup. Okay, and we'll go bang in the middle of the centre of the pickup. I'm going to cut straight through. So we're going to start cutting it with a blade. It's the easiest way to get wire off because we're not keeping it, so it can go to scrap. So you just keep cutting with the wire. Keep cutting the wire with the blade, like that. And we'll see what kind of condition the magnets are in. Let's peel up the wire. It's coming. Okay, near that, and we'll be able to show the cause of the failure of these pickups, these pre-CBS pickups. And watch now. Now then, now on the poles, if you look there, there's the corrosion. There's the corrosion on the actual pole. Now, there is the corrosion. Now, the pole corrodes, eats through the wire, which is very, very thin hairline, and then pop, connection lost, one dead pickup. Now, all these poles, I'll pull the rest of the wire off. There's none left, and it's at the base of the pickup, the start of the pickup. Now all these poles on this are all rusty. Now then, look at the condition of those poles. They are absolutely rusty. So the next stage, we're going to sandpaper those back to a kind of a polished state. Then we're going to use a special insulating tape that I'll show you soon, and that tape is what insulates the pole from the magnetic wire. Originally they used lacquer. You dip the pickups in lacquer, let it dry, that's it. That's what's happened here. So you get, there's still some lacquer on there, but it's long corroded. Yeah, okay, we'll get on with the other pickup and that'll probably be the same. So now we're removing all the rust. There's a lot of it from the sandpaper, the wet and dry sandpaper I'm using. It's really, really thick rust. I'm just having to just flick all this. There's a lot of rust, and just clean these poles up. And they are absolutely terrible. So get all these cleaned up. get all these cleaned up, and it'll take a while, but they have to be absolutely immaculate. And then what I'll do then, to finish the actual job off, I'll polish them with fine wet and dry, and then we'll install special insulation tape before we wind the pickups. We'll carry on with that, and you can see it's quite a bit of a mess. It's a lot of rust, hell of a lot of rust on this, but you have to do it with this wet and dry sandpaper, and I'm going to have to get every single part of that rust off, because it's just built up and causing rust scabs, which doesn't help nothing at all. So we just go at this now until we get through every part of the pole. And you can see it's all flaking off in dust, and all we can do is just keep at this like that. And as you can see, it's starting to clean up the poles pretty nicely. Yeah, and afterwards then we'll pull this piece of flat work off and put a new piece in, because this is not fit for purpose. Okay, so we'll get on with that and clean up all the pickups. Okay, point to note on these old fender pickups is the negative wire, right, is the winding that starts off the winding section of the copper wire. Okay, so that's a negative, starts the winding, and then it gets wound this way, which is basically clockwise looking onto the pickup. Okay, and then the end winding, which is still there, you can actually still see it on the end after we finish winding, is the positive. Okay, which is the white wire. Okay, you can actually see it there. There it is. There it is in there. Yeah? So we start off with the negative at the base of the pole, wind clockwise, okay, and we finish then at the positive, which is the last part of the winding. Okay, fantastic. Right, we're now going to desolder these wires. Okay, so you've got to push these wires through the hole like that. Still wax in there from the potting, so we'll pull the wires out like that. There's one, and we'll do the negative like that. And with the soldering iron, they're just soldered through on the rivets, so you just get the soldering iron, negative first, and then melt that, and it'll just pull straight out. There we are, that's one. And there's the other one. Okay, now this, if I can find the tool, I'll now clear up the rivets and take out the rest of the winding, which is just, so flick that to actually break the windings like that, flick them, and then we're going to take out the rest of the copper wire and clean up the rivet holes, so that there's you can see straight through from one side to the other. Then the cleanup's going pretty well. Yeah, good stuff. Just desoldering the solder from the actual rivets now, using this tool, which just sucks the solder out, leaving a perfectly clean hole. You've got to support the pickup to do this, so then we just carefully get rid of all the excess copper wire. Because when you're winding the pickup, you actually wind maybe 10 strands around the rivet before you start winding. So this is going pretty well. Just get the one more out of there. Just doing my head in. That's it. Right. Okay, and they're clean. See, they're clean straight through now, and they're ready to go. Okay, so we'll carry on cleaning this up, prepare both pickups, and then we'll carry on with the video. Okay, looking good. Yeah, pulling this apart looks pretty manky, and the actual flat work has rusted solid to the poles, so I'm having to kind of manipulate it like this to get it to free itself from the rust alone. Whew. It's coming off a bit slowly, as you can see from the video. It's looking pretty manky, but we need to get rid of this because this is not fit for any purpose whatsoever. I know it's original, but the flat work is there to hold the wire in place, to locate the wire, and that is not happening. So that's not going to be any good to man nor beast. So we're just going to carry on taking this off. That's it. There we are. Okay, so we've freed that now, and you can see there's still lots of rust on these magnetic poles. So what I'll be doing now is cleaning all these up, right, and then putting a new piece of original flat work, fender flat work, back on the pickup, ready for winding. Okay, well, it's going well, so we'll just carry on with that now. Hi, so here we have the bobbin now. This one, the second pickup, the bobbin. Okay, all cleaned up, all nicely polished. Okay, all the flat work is secured. This is the isolation tape that I use, and I'm going to cut a slice, just one slice, to put around these poles, and that will be the isolation barrier between the copper wire and the magnet poles. Okay, originally they used dipped the bobbin in lacquer, let it dry, and that was it. But then with time, there's corrosion and stuff going on, so that failed eventually. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to cut a piece of this tape, perfect for this, slightly larger so that there's no gaps on the corners, on the edges. Tighten it round, one layer, done. And this tape is resistant to heat, wax when you pop them and stuff like that, so that's how we use this special tape. Okay, so we'll get on with that now and we'll see how we get on. Oh, and this is the other bobbin, which I've got to replace it with this piece of new flat work, original part. That is the old flat work. You can see that's completely, literally, that's the old one. This is the new one there. So that will go, I'll just tap this into place on here with a small hammer, and then that'll be brand new again. Okay, so we'll do that in a bit. First of all, do the first pickup with this tape, and then we'll that will then be ready for winding. Okay. Right, so here we have the bobbin now, all cleaned. The tape has been fitted. There we go. What I am going to do before I wind the pickup, I'm going to put some small holes in between the plastic, in between the poles, so that when the pickup is potted, the wax will flow through the holes into the windings. Okay, so I'll put a few little prick holes, pinholes in this section, away from the poles though. The main part where the poles communicate and touch is on the edges. That's where the most pressure is. Okay, that's not going to happen. So we just put the little holes in there with a pin, and then we can start winding that one, and that should be done soon. Cool. Here we are now winding the 3 CBS pickup with 4 var wire. We do this very delicately because we might as well. There's no point rushing this. It's a nice tight winding on it. Now Fender states 7,600 winds of fond on their pickups. 7,600, but I'm going to take it right up to 8,000, and I can always unwind, check the ohmage and unwind the pickup to get it bang on under the 6 ohms, 6 kilo ohms, sorry, that I need. So it's better to take off than add on. So I want the pickup to be directly under 6 ohms. So what I'm doing now, I'm now at 7,000, almost 7,006 now, which is Fender's ballpark. There you go. So I'm going to take it right up to what I usually find 8. The way I wind pickups is use the right area to be in. Okay. Be careful now. The winding is just perfect. And we're almost there at 8,000 on this. Move along now. Keep it really nice and tight. Keep it on the counter. I don't mind winding a little bit off. You can just do that in trial and error. No problem. I've always found 8,000 to be a bang on area to be in for pickups. Now almost there. Here we go. There we go. And there you have the finished product. On the counter you can actually see that I went to 8,003. No problem. Okay, we'll take that off there now and have a look. Hi, so here we have the second pre-CBS bobbin. This is the old top flat work, which was sort of rotten, beyond repair, not fit for purpose. So we've put the new section on top. That's all sealed now. I'm now going to fit the tape on, the insulation tape, and then we're good to go. Okay, finally got the barrier tape fitted around the poles, so there's no gaps in the corners. So this bobbin is now basically ready to wind. Okay, this tape is special for pickups. I suppose I use it for other things as well, but it's especially for pickups. It's heat resistant when you're wax potting. What I'll do, I'll put a few small holes in the actual plastic in between the poles, so that the wax can run when we're potting it. I'll do that now and then we're ready to go. Alright, so this is the wire that we're going to be using on the project. Really nice, smooth, fine wire. 42 AWG foam var, great stuff. So we're gonna now start wiring the vehicle. Okay. We're from the windings now. We're just over 7600 on this. This foam var wind. Here we go, 7600. Just going to go over to the 50 now, just to there we are, done. Okay, just soldered the wires on and now threading them through the holes now. On the second pickup, this is the one that I completely rebuilt. Let's throw that. So the whole thing's now been soldered up. So carefully pull it through like that, nice and tight. That's it. Now let's probably just get a screwdriver, and because the hole's a little bit tight with it being. There we go. So we can put the delicate fiddly job. No rush, just pull it through nice. There we go, and we got it. We've got it nice and tight. So you can see how secure the cloth cable is when we pull it through the hole. Like that. Okay, nice and steady. Okay, and that. There she goes. And now test it. Okay, these are a bit long, we're going to cut them in a minute. Right, so just get some connectors for the multimeter and we'll test that. Get some crocodile grips. Right, okay. So let's see the finished result on here. Okay, first connect up the white to the positive side, black to the negative, and there we have 5.79. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Just come off the connection there. connect that. There we go. Yeah, 5.79. Right. And that is the end result, which we can now get those potted and finished off, ready to fit. Okay, so the third pickup I'm building is a custom built pickup, new flat work, brand new poles. These poles aren't magnetised, so I'll magnetise them after the pickup's been done. Okay, the poles on this is going to be a lead position pickup, overwound, custom built, but using the form var wire. So the poles on this are going to stay like this in the lead position, so you're going to get all the poles sticking through. And there's a custom build pickup, okay, to go with the other two originals. Okay, so let's put this in the lead position, and it should give that a nice output. Okay, so I'm going to wind this soon with the form var wire to complete the set of 3. Okay. Okay, the bobbin ready for winding. This is the third pickup. We put the special tape in there, the heat resistant tape as the barrier, so the copper wire doesn't touch the magnets and short it out on the, usually on the end poles. So that is all now ready to wind. I'm going to do a custom wind on this because it's for a lead pickup position, bridge on the Stratocaster. So I'm going to wind this to probably 8,000 winds, 6.2k. That's what we're after on this, and it should be fine. Let's get to it. Here we are, folks, winding the final pickup now. This is the custom pickup, so it's going to be slightly overwound. It's going to be in the bridge lead position, okay, and this one is going to be wound to 8,000 winds, giving us over 6.2k. Overwound compared with the others, and this is a newly built unit. Okay, so get on with that, and so we carry on. Winding's now on the custom pickup, taking it to 8,000, so it was slightly overwound. We're almost there. And there she blows. Fantastic. Okay, folks, here we go. Here we have the 3 restored pickups. Well, this is the pickup that I've actually built, but these are the originals that have been restored, rewound, potted in beeswax, and they've come out pretty good. I've left the poles on this side as they are, really, because it adds to the character of the guitar. But you can see how they've turned out, all potted. It's cold in here, but I can show you the ohms of each one. Okay, the ohms reading. We'll do this one first. This one. And on the meter, this one comes in. If I can get that on there. At 5.66. You can see that. 5.66. Let's move this camera up a little bit. There we go. That's that one. Second pickup. This comes in at 571. You can see that there on the camera. There we go, 571. And the, put the covers back on there. And the custom pickup that's been built, this one, should come in at just over 6k. Let's have a look. This shows you that the poop's actually working fine. And there we go. Bang on 6k. You can see that on there. There we go. On there. 6. And there we go. So that's going to be for the lead position. Slightly more ohms than the other ones. A little bit of difference, not much. So there we go. In all, a successful job. Rock on.